What if I tell you every day millions risk their lives for one reason only? To save others? No. For fame? No. For riches? No. I'm talking about the times where people risk their reputation, their marriage, and sometimes their entire livelihood just to make another person laugh. And you may think I'm talking about controversial jokes that are either racist or sexist or just dark-humored all around. But no, I'm talking about times where you're with your friend and you make a self-deprecating joke about something you do. So let's say you're hanging around with your friend and he decides to eat a banana. So he starts peeling said banana and you decide, wouldn't it be funny to make your friend think that you eat bananas without peeling the skin? So to do this, you start by asking them, why are you peeling the banana? And when they look at you all confused, you double down by saying, you're supposed to leave the peel on, you idiot. And when they start arguing with you, you double down by saying something like, most of the taste is in the skin, you fool of a took. So, the situation I just described is what I consider the riskiest type of joke. Because you assume, in wholehearted ignorance, that once you tell your friend that you were joking all along, he will just laugh and say, you got me! And then everyone will live happily ever after. But no! Not only does your friend think you were wrong and can't admit it, now you're gonna be known as the guy that eats banana peels for the rest of your life. And this exact situation happens to countless people every day who all they wanted to do was just make their friends laugh. But now some of them are known for showering fully clothed, or thinking that England is a city. And this is not a new thing, by the way. I'm convinced this happened throughout history. For example, there's that famous story about Queen Marie Antoinette, that during the French Revolution, when she was told that the peasants were complaining for not having bread, she said, then give them cake, which she's obviously joking, but no, she'll be forever known as an example of how rich people are clueless, and all that just to make a few people in her court laugh. Tragic, if I do say so myself, and I do. And now for the solution. So you guys may be thinking that the point of this video is to stop people from making these type of jokes. But the opposite is true. I made a guide on how to make these type of jokes without risking your entire reputation. So ideally, you want to have more than one person around before you start making the joke. So now that you have the extra person, when you're about to make the joke, you need to wink at one of your friends so they know that you're not serious, and then when you reveal you were joking this whole time, they will laugh with you, and then the rest of your friends will understand that you were just doing a bit, and they will all laugh and you will live happily ever after. But you may be asking, what happens if it's just me and my friend? What do I do then? Well, I don't have a foolproof plan yet, but I can at least try to mitigate the risk. And by the way, this is a tricky plan and it needs to be executed flawlessly. Otherwise, you may make matters worse. Okay, so this is what you do. Let's say you already made the joke and you're halfway in. So when you get to the point where you want to reveal that you were joking all along, instead start exaggerating and just go more and more extreme. For example, if you're midway explaining to your friend why it's okay to poop in the shower, you escalate things by saying, soon you'll tell me that you don't poop in the sink. And then when he looks at you all confused, you'll be like, soon you'll tell me that you don't poop in the dishwasher. And then explain to him why it's good to poop in the dishwasher because it cleans itself, you know? And then as slowly you're going more and more extreme, your friend should eventually understand that you were just pulling his leg all along. But if you don't execute this method correctly, the results may be catastrophic. Also, I feel like this type of joke should have a name or at least a category, you know? And a good example of that is gallows humor. And to explain how gallows humor worked, Basically, when people were about to be hung and they were standing at the gallows, they made some of the most hilarious jokes, and that's how it became named gallows humor. And then later on, people started using it to refer to other situations. For example, if you're outside your principal's office waiting for punishment with some friends, that's when you start cracking some of the funniest jokes. That is considered gallows humor. So yeah, I want this type of humor to have a name, so if you have a good idea, please write it down in the comments. Oh, and final disclaimer. Use this type of joke in your own discretion, and I'm not liable if you use one of these methods and it ruins your life.